Greetings, my dear viewer. You're on the channel The Price of Cheating. The channel is for those who appreciate traditional family values and condemn adultery. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. Something was wrong with my wife, Brittany, my amazing partner and the love of my life. Since we crossed paths as teenagers many years ago, I had no reason to think that anything could disrupt our blissful bond. However, invisible clouds have been gathering over her lately. She's been uncharacteristically quiet for the past few days. One would have thought that a friendly couple like us could stand a short silence, but for me it was like a wake-up call. Any problem she couldn't share with me seemed like a real problem, and my instincts screamed that I should worry. What should I do? I questioned her gently, hoping that she would open up when the time came. Meanwhile, I was consumed with curiosity. I was eager to figure out what was bothering her. We always dealt with problems together, and I couldn't get rid of the feeling that something was emerging under the surface. Then, by a strange coincidence, everything took an unexpected turn. I swear it was pure coincidence and I wasn't chasing her, but here it is. Brittany's little sports car parked on the side of the road. The same bright beauty that we chose just a couple of months ago, perfectly painted and with the right license plates. No one could be mistaken that this was her car. If you're wondering why my heart started pounding at the sight of her car, I'll explain. While the car was parked, Brittany was nowhere to be found. She was more than 10 miles from this place. I found a safe place to stop half a mile from the road and quickly dialed her number, my heart pounding in anticipation. "Hello, Adam," she chirped. Her voice, as always, was bright and cheerful. She instantly recognized my call. But under this facade, I couldn't get rid of the feeling that something deeper was emerging. "How are things going?" I asked, trying to keep my tone even. "Oh, nothing special," Brittany replied, her voice bright and carefree, completely devoid of guilt. "I just met with my boss and everything went really well." "That's good to hear," I said, suppressing the frustration bubbling up inside me. I couldn't get rid of the feeling that something was wrong, but I didn't know what exactly and how to deal with it. So I did what I've always done. I didn't say anything. In the late afternoon, I returned home and greeted Brittany with a kiss when she came in, after which we went about our usual business. I was flipping through the TV channels, and she was immersed in work, probably some business that she had postponed for the day. I was plagued by a nagging sense of anxiety. I almost talked about it a few times, but I held my tongue, partly because she was so absorbed in her work. I told myself that I would find the right moment and talk to her the next day. It shouldn't be that hard. The next morning, I heard her soft voice in the hallway, clearly talking on the phone. It was obvious that she was talking to someone named Jordan, and my heart sank. "6:30 p.m. at your place will do for me," she said. "I'll just leave a note for my husband that I'm late at work. He'll be fine with that," she laughed. But the humor didn't reach me. The main thing is that the husband never finds out about it. A chill ran down my spine. What the hell is going on? Betrayal. It was like a slap in the face, and I fought the urge to rush to her to counter the rage bubbling inside me. But I knew I had to keep my cool and think carefully before acting. All I had were words, my accusations against her denials, and the identity of this Jordan was still a mystery. Nevertheless, I guessed where he was hiding. Somewhere in that apartment above the commercial building where her fancy car was parked. Oh, I have it in my hands now. I had the whole vile couple in my sights. I'll pay them a visit tomorrow. I imagined meeting him, telling him what I thought, and dragging her into the cold reality of what she was doing. But then, a wave of sanity swept over me. It was my wife, the woman I adored. The thought that she might betray me seemed like a bad dream from which I could not wake up. It wasn't like her to be unfaithful. Could it be true? I'll find out soon enough. She said it was 6:30 p.m. I'll be there, waiting, with my heart pounding with terror and rage. Just as I was sinking into my personal hell, Brittany's voice rang out, informing me that she was leaving for work. The front door slammed shut, sounding like a last goodbye. This may have been the last time I hear that sound. How tragic. The strange consolation was that only anger kept my heart from shattering. A job? That was the least of my worries right now. Hours have passed. It was like being trapped in a time warp where hours stretched into days, and every moment replayed in my head as I prepared for the inevitable confrontation. Finally, the clock struck 5:30. The time has come to act. A weight settled in my chest as I headed for the car, and 20 minutes later I found myself parked in front of the building where I had noticed Brittany's car the day before. Anticipation gnawed at me. Unlike the thrill of the showdown, this feeling was completely different. There was no satisfaction in it, only a bitter bite of betrayal. I expected to see her car, but at that moment I noticed that she was walking down the street, and her face lit up with a bright smile. Anger flared up in me. She walked up to the door almost opposite where I was sitting and impatiently tapped it with her knuckles. A moment later, the door swung open, revealing a man who was not at all what I had imagined. He was elderly, a little disheveled, and dressed in ripped jeans and a faded shirt that had clearly seen better days. He didn't have the suave charm I'd imagined. Rather, he exuded untidiness and rudeness. That was my signal. It's time to take control of the situation. Gathering my resolve, I threw open the car door and rushed towards them, expressing rage and inflexibility. The man noticed me first, and because I was radiating rage, he pushed Brittany, drawing her attention to the storm that erupted behind her. When she turned around and saw me looming over them, her face lost its color. "Dear," she gasped, her voice trembling. "Why are you here? What do you think I'm doing here?" I growled, giving the bastard the dirtiest look I could muster. He will regret it very soon. "Adam, for God's sake!" Brittany sobbed, her voice shaking. "I didn't want you to find out." "I'm sure you didn't mean to," I replied, fuming. "You didn't really think you could get away with it, did you?" I pressed. My voice rose. "I'm sorry, Adam," she pleaded, trying to calm me down. "Is this really such a serious problem?" "Is there a serious problem? Not that serious?" I spat, squinting in disbelief. "Of course I was upset. Damn it, Brittany, how could you do that?" "For the last time," she began, waving her arms in a desperate attempt to explain. "For the last time?" I interrupted, feeling tears blurring my eyes. I couldn't ignore the fact that it wasn't the first time. "Let's calm down, Adam," Brittany interjected, trying to calm the chaos. "There's no reason to be so worried. I'll deal with Jordan. Why don't you go back to your room and we can discuss everything calmly?" "Calm down?" I repeated, my rage bubbling up as I tried to contain it. "Talk about it calmly? It's about our marriage, for God's sake." "Adam, you're exaggerating the situation too much. Such phenomena happen all the time. It's time to come to terms with this," she said dismissively, as if my world hadn't just collapsed around me. "Brittany, damn you!" I exclaimed, and the words almost stuck in my throat. "It's just terrible. You didn't just dent your car or something." "Isn't it?" Brittany's eyes widened in disbelief. Her surprise was obvious. "What do you mean, a dent in the car?" I staggered back, confusion gripping me. "What kind of dent? The one on my car?" she said, her voice sounding nervous. "I mean, I dented my shiny new car. Did Jordan fix it for you?" My brain was racing, trying to untangle the tangle of information. "Yes," she admitted, looking down as if she was ashamed. "I didn't want you to find out and freak out like last time." "Jordan?" I mumbled, my thoughts whirling in a disorderly whirlwind. "Nice to meet you," the garage owner chimed in with a hesitant smile on his face. "Did you damage Brittany's car?" I asked, remembering the name. "Yes," she replied, concern creeping into her voice. "Last Tuesday. It's just a scratch, and I thought I could fix it without you knowing. I'm really sorry, dear." But at that moment, a wave of rage swept over me. She lied to me without blushing. "Okay, then give me your phone." "No, honey, you don't have to do that." I snatched her bag out of her hands and took out her phone. When I got into their correspondence, Brittany had tears in her eyes. "It's over, Brittany. You've ruined our 35-year marriage." What I saw in their correspondence instantly destroyed all the feelings that I had for this woman. This man was about 10 years older than Brittany, and she delivered intimate services to him for expensive gifts and trips to luxury restaurants. I took her phone and drove away from this corrupt woman. The next day, I provided all the evidence of her infidelity to her lawyer. Thanks to the prenuptial agreement, Brittany will leave our marriage penniless. This concludes the story. If you like it, then put your powerful like and subscribe to the channel.